Yeah, so for this video, I will be going over how to pass funded accounts and risk management approach you should carry on while trading on a funded account, right? So basic guide for funded accounts is basically you get like 100K and you pay a small fees to prove a specific firm that you are a good or a consistent trader, and you pass their test phases like making 8% or 5% based on different phases. It totally depends on each firm. I won't be going into that what basically funded accounts are, but main approach would be on how to clear a funded challenge. I will attach screenshots of the challenges that I have personally passed using my own risk management strategy. So let's get on to the screen. So when you start off funded accounts, like I got a 100K account and it is a two-phase account. My approach would be this. Note, this would be for even every funded account, right? It totally doesn't matter if it's a 100K or a 10K account. I'm taking example of 100K account. So I have 100K, right? My phase one targets are usually either 8% or 10%. I'm counting at 8%. So let's go over phase one first, then we'll go over to phase two. And the last part would be how to keep consistently take payouts on a funded account. So for phase one, my approach is start off slow, risk 1% per trade, right? Once you start. If you get a winner, right, I would be going for a 2 hour or 3 hour for the first trade. And let's say I'm at 3% now. I would be risking on the second trade 2% to make, let's say, 4% or 6%. If I'm risking, let's say, if I go for 1 to 2.5 hour trade, I would be targeting 8% of account and I would be up like 4.5% more, and 5% plus 3% is going to pass my phase one. This is the first aggressive approach, right? This only requires 2 trades to go for phase one. This is the first approach. Second comes at the second method is a bit conservative. Now for that, I would say if you're new to trading, you should, or you only own one account and you don't have much funds and all you have is one funded account, go with this conservative strategy. Start off with 1% again, right? And go for 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 hours. 1% risk. First trade, let's say you made it and you made 3% or 2%, right? 2 to 3% balance up in the first trade. Second trade, again, go for 1%. No need to go for 2 or 3% now. Second trade, again, you went for 1% risk, made 3% more. Now you're 6% up just by risking 1%, or you're 4% up, 4 to 6% up. Let's say you get a loss here and you are again back where? At 1% up. You're still plus 1% on the account. So that's how basically I go for funded accounts. Now I have multiple accounts right now, so my main focus is just to pass them off. Now I usually go for the first method that I showed. Start off with 1%. If I get a winner, I simply go for 2% or 3% risk, how much I made in the first trade, right? Risk it all to make to complete my phase one. This is approach on phase one. I just took example of 100K account. You made $8,000 on the phase one. Now, let's say we got a loss on the first or even the second trade, and now you're in break even or drawdown. Until you're at break even, keep risking 1%, right? Break even or plus risk 1%. Now, if you are in drawdown, half your risk 0.5%, right? Now, let's say you are more than 3% down, risk 0.25%. And again, don't lose hope on accounts if you're in deep drawdowns, because I have personally cleared accounts from absolute near to blowing them off. I will share my example on the screen as well of the recent account I passed from maybe 23,500 to 27,000, right? It was a 25K account. I will attach that picture as well, the stats. Now again, keep risking half, right? If you get 6% down, now go for again 0.125%. That's how you are going to not lose accounts. If you are going aggressive, you have multiple accounts on your name, you can just simply keep risking higher, or if you don't hit, lose accounts. Now this is the main method that I am using for phase ones, right? It's either aggressive. I usually go for 50k to 100k accounts aggressive, and accounts above like 200 or 400k I go for conservative method. Now comes here the phase two. Now for phase two, you only need to make 5 to 6%, if I'm not wrong, right? So our target is going to be 5% in this example. You can risk again 1% risk if you're at break even or above break even. So 1% risk to make 2 to 3%. Not going for crazy RRs like you make 4-5% in a single trade, right? Just the realistic way of trading, right? People would be telling you to risk that much to clear accounts in a 1 day, or in 12 hours I cleared this account. That's absolutely wrong. You need to focus on maintaining an account. Now our second part is phase two. You risk first trade 1% to make 2 to 3%, right? Totally depends on how you trade and how much RR you are happy with. Now comes to the second trade. Again, if you're following aggressive strategy, you can risk 2% here, but it's phase two. You're already up 2 to 3%. You just need 1% more to risk to make 2-3%, and now you're done with this, right? Again, you can start off with 0.5% too, but for phase two, that's my plan always. 1% risk. When I start, if I'm up like 2 to 3%, I risk 1%. I lose 2 trades, I'm back at break even. I keep risking 1% to make 2 to 3%. Now that's pretty much my game plans for phase ones and phase twos. Now let's come over how to maintain an account. And now let's say you have a live account, how to trade on that. Now my strategy absolutely changes quite a lot when it comes to the live account, right? My main focus is to getting my fees back that I paid and the first payout secured. So I know that my account is now risk-free and I have reclaimed the money that I invested into a specific account. Now for me, I would just simply start off on the live account with 0.5% risk at break even, or even if I'm plus, right? To make 1 to 2%. Then again, if this trade is a winner, then I would stick to my old plan, 1% to make 2 to 3%. Now, in case you get a drawdown in the live account, now you are going to reduce your risk immediately. You were risking 0.5%, you lost 0.5. Now you would go for 0.25%, right? The moment you get under break even, reduce your risk, half your risk to 0.25%, right? So that's how I have been keeping my accounts. Simply, no pressure, riskless, secure your payouts, and then you can proceed on to claim a payout. Now, after you get a payout, you can go for 1% again. Start risking 1%. Now, you know that you don't have any money on stake when trading on live account. That's pretty much it for phase one, phase two, and live accounts. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram. I will reply you immediately.